They told me hush, but I can't stay quiet. Eyes to the stars, my mind's a riot. They call me crazy, they call me wild. Alone in the sky, I'm searching high. Government lies, I won't comply. UFOs fly, and I ask why. The truth's out there, I'll find my way. No matter the cost, no matter what they say.
Hello and welcome to a new episode here on Reticulate Today. Today we are talking about three topics. The first one is the 9/11 terror attacks, and the second is, on request of viewers, the Montauk Camp Site Hero. As the fifth season of Stranger Things aired, there's a huge interest in the Montauk Camp Site Hero. And second is the prediction or the disclosure for 2027. So here are the results, my results, on these three topics. So let's start with the 9/11 terror attacks. We're going to fuel these conspiracy theories a little bit more with my results. So first of all, I would like to say that I believe that there were planes flown by terrorists into the tower, and that was the reason why they collapsed. So there's nothing special about this. I think they collapsed because there were planes crashing into the building, and the fire and the explosion caused them to collapse. So nothing new to this one, and no conspiracy theory. But what I found out is that 4 days before the attacks, the Israeli intelligence service intercepted a message in southwest Yemen that the Twin Towers are the target of a terror attack on 9/11. So they intercepted the message on, let me see, it was September 5th, that the Twin Towers are target of a terror attack. So 36 hours later, they forwarded this message to the CIA, and they didn't react. So why they didn't react, that's a question we should ask, but we won't get an answer. So what's obvious is that the CIA was the origin, or the idea of planes crashing into a building was born at the CIA. And terrorists from the Al-Qaeda picked it up and did it. So I don't know the reason why this information wasn't handled properly to stop these attacks. So the only thing I found out is there was a message intercepted on September 5th. This was handed out to the CIA 36 hours later, and that wasn't, as we all know, not handled properly. So we're gonna ask what happened. So that's my results on the 9/11 topic. Montauk is a quite interesting topic. It was a military site that was built in the early 1940s on Long Island, and it was closed in the 1980s. Originally, it was built to protect New York against an invasion from sea. So they put up a radar station to detect ships and boats, submarines from the sea. So, and there were some conspiracy theories about child abduction and mind control and portal travel and time travel. What I found out is that this was a sacred site of the Montauk tribe, Native Americans, that give this piece of land the name. The Montauk tribe is, as I told you, are Native Americans, and what was buried with the construction in the 40s are some carvings that were made in stone. So, and they looked like this. There is a spiral and the 3 lines. The spiral is pretty well known as a portal to another dimension, another life, another time, whatever they saw in these events that occur, or what they felt at that time, and the sightings. So that was their interpretation for travel through another dimension, for a portal. Simply, it's a symbol for a portal, and this can be seen all over the world, and they even have it in Europe, and they have it on Skinwalker Ranch. So that were the symbols I could get from the viewing. So it was probably a sacred site, or a site with a lot of power, or a very meaningful site for the Montauk tribe about 700 years ago. And the army, on purpose, or was it just a coincidence, built a military site right over for the Native American sacred site. The site was closed in the 1980s, and what I found out is nothing about child abduction or time travel or dimension travel. But what I found out is they conducted experiments with electromagnetic fields and frequencies and the effect on the human body and the human mind. That's what I found out about this campsite. And the experiments were conducted, it started in the late 80s and were ongoing for about 10 years. But there's nothing as wild as child abduction or making children to soldiers, to willingness soldiers. So the only thing I found out is what effect had electromagnetic fields and frequencies on the human body and the human mind. So that's the result of Montauk. Then let's talk about the disclosure process for 2027. So in an earlier video we gave you a pretty good view on what will probably happen in 2027, or what we think will happen in 2027, and it had nothing to do. This prediction had nothing to do with remote viewing. So it was a result of our team. So and we put it in a video. You can watch it as 2 parts. Yeah, we stay with this prediction. But the new trailer of the Steven Spielberg movie brought it up again, and if it will speed up the disclosure process, the movie, and is it a preparation to get the people ready for the real truth. So maybe it is. So I'm personally convinced that NHI are among people or live with us for thousands of years. So long ago, until maybe 70, 80 years, we weren't able to keep up with them technologically. We didn't had cameras or stuff we could record the sightings. So it was more or less a thing that was passed by mouth to mouth. So, but now we have documents, we are curious. More and more people get into this topic, and more people outside the government get into this topic and have the technological abilities to track those sightings, and more people get aware of what really exists beside our flora and fauna and human beings. So I personally think that the Virginia incident is the best proof in Brazil. It's the best proof of NHI among people. So many witnesses, dozens of witnesses, and probably photos, videos. This is the best evidence. It's not a theory, or it's an evidence. It's an evidence. For me, it's an evidence that we are not alone, that NHI are living among us or above us or underneath us. So I don't need a disclosure. I don't need the last proof if they exist or not. What I really want to know is who is our friend, who is our ally, and who is our enemy. That's what interests me and nothing else. I'm pretty much convinced, or absolutely convinced, that NHI live with us for thousands of years, and they have always been in contact with those in power. And they are probably in contact with those in power. But I want to know who is our enemy and who we can trust. If it is real that President Eisenhower had a chance in 1953 to decide if he could go with the lesson of an higher consciousness, or if he was seduced by alien technology for better weapons, more technology in any warcraft, then we might have taken the wrong path. But at the end, there's something out there, and it's the consciousness is more and more a topic on or in universities. The higher consciousness, who we are, what part we have in our life or in Earth's history. In witnesses' accounts, they're talking about that NHI talk about us as vessel. A vessel for what? So, probably a consciousness, a memory, an experience. And on that memory and experience, we can access if we let it happen, if we are ready to leave our technological thinking behind and think of humans as a being with consciousness. Consciousness creates matter, but matter doesn't create consciousness. So that's on our prediction for 2027. I think 2027 will be the year where a lot of people will be aware of we are not alone. And I really don't understand why people are looking for planets for alien life, because alien life is right on our front door. We just have to let it happen to see them. And I think 2027 will be a year where, as I told you, many people will be aware of we are not alone. And I don't think it has a huge impact on the people as long as they don't see NHIs for themselves. What I fear is that the Steven Spielberg film, or the Steven Spielberg movie that will be released in, I think, summer 2026, will bring a lot of people to the topic, and there will be a lot of wild theories and new people in the media, in social media, who will deal with this topic, and they're gonna be wild stuff, and that will discredit probably the people who work seriously on this topic. So, but I think 2027 will be the year humans will know they are not the most intelligent being on this planet, and that's good. So, with that in mind, may peace be with you. Bye-bye.